one's socks or something has been misplaced. And as usual, when your things are not in place, it means they have been misplaced. And when things are misplaced, people who can position things well so they don't get misplaced are wives. Better still, house helps. And there are times that when you call your wife, wives who are not in charge and are not in control, when you ask them for something, they have to ask their co-chair, who is the house help. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because everyone who gets married must be given a support. A help must be given to any woman who gets married. It's part of the marriage package. So school have reopened, and these children are on the street selling. Look at them. School has reopened, and the F cube is there, the by force F cube, which happens to be free. This will be good for the food. It's good for the Volvo, but I can't purchase it because I am with a locker under it. The guy is selling. Saying. I see something that I like, the color in my Volvo.
24 Ghana.
Saying, what's he saying? 240 there. I don't have money now too. I'm coming. I've seen something I want to buy for this guy. I'll give you 100 cedis. Let me use the stairs money. When you roll it for.
Oh, him and Yami Jam for a carpet no back 5 pieces. Yeah, you are gonna. We are going. Where you got special for Bugatti.
I just wanted to give this guy money. He's selling carpet, and I understand his mind. Whether I to fix my car or not, I just bought a carpet for my car. And you might not understand. I am back. I am still lecturing. No, sorry if there was any break in transmission. I met this man who was selling. Usually I see him every day. I think he has a mental challenge, but unfortunately, he has this rasta hair, but he sells. I know him for a long time. And this morning he said, "Baby, the man be out on 240 Ghana cedis. Whether he has cheated me or not, I just gave him 100 cedis. Let's help them develop their career." So communication, the tone, the pitch is very essential. And within the tone, the pitch, I just gave you an example that there are many a times that we are at home. We insult, we abuse verbally, emotionally our partners, our spouses, and the people in the relationship we are with within the domestic environment. There are times that we abuse our house help, we abuse our cousins, we abuse our co-tenant, not by coming to tell them, verbally insulting them, but by using other people with a tone. And I gave you an example where your socks is missing, or you can't find your hat like my own, you can't find your sunglasses, you can't find the car key, and you ask a very responsible wife who is manageress to the house, and she's managing everything, and you call her, I can't find the car key. And she goes like, I'll look for it. She's looking for it. My brother, don't ask any question. Quiet and let them bring the key at their own pace. If you make a mistake and you ask them, have you found it? Hey, I just entered the room now. What is it? I am taking care of children and taking care of adults. So people cannot grow. What is it at all? So me too, when I misplace something, who can get it for me? And if you make a mistake and your son who is in terrible 2, terrible 3, terrible 5, there are times that they have even passed the terrible 5, but they are terrible 7, like my son, terrible 7, terrible 10. He asks questions like anything. When you are busy and you are getting angry because you are looking for something that you didn't misplace. And remember, the word misplace means it is not missing. Missing is different from misplaced. It has been placed but misplaced. Where we are supposed to hang the car keys, where we are supposed to put the nose marks, we have not placed this there. So it has been placed wrongly. And the only person that they will ask is always the wife. And your son will go there and go and ask, Mommy, no response. Mommy, no response. They are boiling up. Then they enter the room. Bro, what is it? Go and sit down. I am looking for daddy's socks. Can't you see? And then you hear people are grown but they behave like children. Go and sit down. I say go and sit down. If you have a son like my small boy, he would be asking, mommy, why? Mommy, why? I will come out of the room and go and bring battalion 244. Come and see mommy, she shouting. And then the second one will come and join. Why? Only the jackpot. It's painful. You know, I mean, all these things are communication. Oh. And I'm saying that in expressing their tone, there are times that they communicate in relationship through other people in the domestic environment. And they will insult you through the children. They will abuse you through the children. The voice will change. The content of the communication. The content. Sorry, network went off. We're back. If the network is off there, I don't know what to do now. I'm sorry. I'm back. So the content in the communication is very essential. The content. The content. The content. Choose your words carefully. Have what I call communication self-control. Manage your thoughts. Manage your feelings. Manage your actions. Don't just say things because you want to say it. Don't say things because you are angry. Don't just open your mouth. The how, the where, the when. So the content is very depicting and very important when it comes to the where, the when, the how. They don't care who is there. They will say what they want to say and come and say sorry. They don't value sorry. They don't. The content, the where, the how. These things, the where, the how, the when, all these three are needed anytime you are building communication whether verbal, not verbal, the where, the how, the when is needed, whether your communication is verbal, whether it's non-verbal, whether it's written, whatever it is, the where, the how, the when is needed. Somebody asked me to explain when the how and the we. Yeah, the we will come inside. I don't know what word is we. In a domestic setting, don't talk anyhow to your wife. In a domestic setting, don't talk anyhow to your husband. In a domestic setting, don't talk anyhow to your children, anyhow to your house help. Let me tell you, if you constantly maltreat your house help, if you constantly segregate your house help, yes, the house help must be identified not as one of your children. Your segregation is very important. Yes, let it be evidential. Let everybody know this is your house help. There's nothing wrong with that. No, I am not saying force your house help to look like your daughter. No. There should be a distinction. The maid servant must be seen as the maid servant in the house. The domestic settings must have an identification, which is part of communication. I will come to identity crisis in our communication gaps. In a domestic setting, the husband must be identified. The wife must be identified. The children must be identified. Stepchildren must be identified. Cousins, siblings, house helps, drivers, gardeners, they must be identified. Not should, must. So in the house of a big person, wealthy rich man like Bill Gates and the wife, when they own a house and their house sells, the house selves must be identified, disciplined by the way they dress. Don't hide them. But within the whole area, the way you talk to your nanny is the way your child will grow. Oh, this is wisdom. The way you talk to your house help is the way your children will talk to them. You know how it is? So the content in communication is very important. The where, the how. So constantly you insult that house help. Now they won't go school. Hey, what you mean bonsano? Yes, it's right. She's smelling. She's stinking. She doesn't smell good in the house. Look, what will you do for her to smell good as a house help? When your daughter sees that you are giving lime to the big auntie in the house, who is not a family member by house help, so she will smell well. It is easy for the house help to identify when your daughter's armpit is smelling and provide the same lime for your daughter. I'm telling to you. When you want to feed your small boy, that terrible 2 boy, see how you struggle. He takes 1 blow and will run before they come back to take the second blow. Are you aware? One blow, then they will roam. One blow, and in that 1 blow, it becomes very, very important. They don't even stay. They don't stay to eat. But your nanny, your house help, If you are able to have a better communication for the who would teach your house help how to feed your child, it is you. So if you don't have patience, if you cannot manage your own child and feed their child with the food that they are not ready to eat, how will you blame your house help, your babysitter, when they are not doing that? So the domestic environment is where, how, when, the environment. So anytime you want to communicate and you want to check your content, check the where. Once you check the where, it determines the type of content. Then when? The time. The season. The weather. When? The time. How? Your tone, your pitch, facial expression, gestures. How? How? The face. The face is very important. So you are in the front desk. I'm not asking any question. I enter into the front desk. You've not spoken to me. But I can see that you are expecting somebody to come and talk to you because you have been sitting at the front desk from morning to 11. Nobody has come. What are you doing when nobody's coming? One of the things that is misplaced in our domestic environment, and when I'm using the word domestic, when we are in a car, is domestic. We are all going to die when a car crashes, or we will be hurt, or we will be affected by the car. Share the page. So I don't understand why you are in the car with me, and all of a sudden, the earpiece in your ears. The earpiece. You are listening to what you think will make you happy. Oh, I'm not against it. There's a radio that is on. We might all be listening to the radio and might be commenting on the issues that they say. Yes. But unfortunately, usually, we have people who either they want to focus on playing music, gestures, that's enough. Gestures. Check the how, check the where, and check the when. So the content is very important. And the content, we don't care about it. You wake up in the morning, you have to greet each other. Greet. Share. Good morning, my husband. Whatever dog name, pet name you have, good morning, Your Highness. I remember I said greet each other, and the spouse got up in the morning and greeted the wife. You know what the wife said? He said, good morning, my husband. Hey. When the wife greeted the husband, he was like, hey. Now the nyame no nyina na da ha. Ada na ha chia me. When the wife said good morning, unfortunately, the husband was shocked. Good morning. Hey. Thank you for following. Yes, follow so that when we come, you have the prompt. Thank you very much. Share the page with others. Invite other friends. You know me, I'm sharing it. That's one good thing with me. When I'm talking to you, then I share. I share on pages. I share to the individuals. Because this thing, we all have to learn it. There are some people that they only talk to you when they are in need. Where? When? How? Awo, this is our problem. What you are saying makes sense. What you want to tell them is good. Everything is perfect. It's Ajay, and you're good. But where? How? When? So counselor says we should greet ourselves. So good morning. Counselor said we should greet ourselves. So morning, thank you for following. Oh, Gifty. God bless you. God bless you for following. Let's build a family. The Telegram is there. We've not hit 1,000. Like all these lectures will happen on the Telegram page. But I'm happy you are here. Share the page with a friend. Where? How? When? Your mind must be on these three things. Whilst you are using the three basic forms of communication, the written, the non-verbal, and the verbal. And I'm explaining it like we are in class to write examination. Thank you. I will greet starting from today. All I want my followers to do is to implement the things I teach. This is not common sense, family. This is wisdom. I'm teaching you wisdom. And the closest people around you are the people that are supposed to practice what you are teaching. So when I delete people from my page, they don't understand. When I block people, they don't understand. Why? Because the best example is the person who is close to you. If the fish will bring you an information that the crocodile is suffering from coronavirus, you can't doubt it. Why? Because the fish lives with the crocodile in the sea or the water or the lake. Very important. So those who are close to me, when they don't practice what I'm teaching, like I do, I'm saying it's not easy. You can greet and they give you cheeky answers. You can greet and the response becomes very insulting. You can greet and the facial expression alone will cause you not to greet again. But any which way, greet. Why? Because the first medium of communication is greetings. It's the fastest medium of letting one know I am alive. I greet my wife in the morning for her to know I am alive. Regardless of what happened yesterday, I am alive. Regardless of the situation we are going through, I woke up in the morning and I see that there is no water, there is no credit. I can see because I am alive. Reginald. Thank you, Kenneth. Whoever that young lady is, may God bless her. Says he found a lady who was advising young men to follow my teachings. The lady said she is enjoying her marriage because she alluded to most of counselors' teachings. Oh yes. In America, somebody did 2 hours Facebook just appreciating Counselor Luttrot. But I tell you, in this country, the brand Counselor Luttrot is wish dead. But at time for Nyanyame, what God has said concerning the life of Counselor Luttrot, believe you me, it will definitely come to pass. Not your words, but I want you to be part of my celebration. I want you to be part of what I will become. I want you to beat your hands on your chest and say, yes, Yanino. There's a lady who met me the last time. With the one idea, Yanu Nyana Shasio. Say, I have to say, yes, it's an intention. I've taken a serious decision that those who don't follow the brand with their hearts, I cut them off. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'm telling you the truth. Why? Because they are the living testimony of the things that Counselor Luttrot is doing. I said, greet each other. They will face you. They won't respond well. Your husband will not get it. So you wake up in the morning. Honey, good morning. How was your sleep? Fine. Some will ask, why do you ask? If you are watching me and you are also learning, when you are greeted, don't ask them, why? Why this morning greeting? What is happening? Don't ask. Kalu! Kalu! Yawu Jimmy medical. Don't do that. How many of you on my page have greeted before? Tell me, and how was the response in the morning? Look, when you go for a wash here, you are not married, but you have the heart to go and sleep over. When you wake up, greet. Greeting is not meant for the married. And my topic is not meant for the married alone. It's meant for those in relationship. Within the 5 areas of relationship: marriage, friend, sex mate, side chick, baby mama. These 5 people, these 5 types of relationship, all of you must begin to practice it. And for the sake of those of you who didn't know where we started from, last week I taught you the type of relationship we have. I told you only 3 types of relationship. And I made it clear to you. Marriage. I made it clear. Side chick. They're all relationships. Sex mate. They're relationship. Baby mama. They're relationship. I told you last week. The 5 types of relationship I mentioned: marriage, side chick, sex mate, baby mama. All of them are types of relationship. So the how, the when, the where, the content is part of non-verbal communication. The content. The content. The content. I have been on the content for long, because the fight is the content. BB says, I always greet and ask. I always greet. I love the statement. Let me read that one for you small. It says, BB says, she's right. I'm not married yet, but I know I will practice his teachings. He speaks the truth while people expect fairy tales. Thank you very much. Enemies are not God. They cannot be. 1 second. Never. You are my favorite, La. Thank you. He says, I always greet and ask if they slept well. Very necessary. I do. He responds and smile and give a long stretch. Oh, I'm looking at the video. Hello, how are you? I'm fine. There's a people that way go ask how are you? Hey. At the end of you, then Abba. And no, I can't answer. Some of you, the only time you greet is when you want to go and take something. Do you know when your husband is broke? Do you know? Broking is part of communication. I've not gone anywhere. Hey, that is I'm teaching you, I've not gone anywhere at all. I will need a transcriber to come and do a transcript, you know, out of these lectures so that we get a book. I think it's better. So that in future, we'll be able to have that material in our school of marriage and relationship. There's a young lady who came to me and said, that's her work. When she got to me, the first thing she was talking about was money. And I realized that she doesn't have a future. Yeah. A young university graduate who, when she was worrying me, bothering me, counselor, I want to come and support you. The things you teach, I want us to put it in book and whatever it is. I say, she worried me 3 months. I had allowed the office to give her an appointment to come. When she came to sit in front of me, she was ready to work, but she was giving me how much she would charge when she transcribed a sentence. I look at her, I say, you have no future. Mother, you don't know what it means to serve. Even at my stage as your counselor, I serve. I serve crazily. I serve. Yesterday, I saw something on Instagram. Somebody was launching a product. They say Boflotu. I don't know if you watch it on Instagram. All the bloggers were there. And what shocked me was that the chief imam was at the launch. The chief imam, Sarkodie, was there. The chief imam's own is what, you know, blew my mind. Nana Banamwa was there. I saw Nana Banamwa. I saw Mark Brown. What I'm saying is that I was blown up because the people there were communicating something to me. I was not there. I was watching. But the chief imam, I've not seen the chief imam at any launch before. Maybe she has, but this is my first time that the class of people, they were sitting on the same couch. I saw, the chief imam was present. It gave me a different understanding with life. Everybody has a way they watch things. So the content of your communication. Greeting as a wife. And I know what Shamida. Ask him, has he greeted me before? Hey, let me teach you this. When it comes to relationship, respect is not reciprocal. I hear this thing, love is reciprocal, respect is reciprocal. I've not seen it anywhere. If you respect me, I respect you. I've not seen it in relationship. Relationship, when it comes to relationship, respect and love is one way. It's not reciprocal. Love you, respect me. That's all. I love my wife like a madman. She is under obligation by virtue of the marriage to respect me like a madwoman. Confronting me, challenging me, looking for faults in my communication and my content as a wife doesn't bring harmony. And remember, harmony, the word harmony is in music. That when melodies are created by the black and white keys, harmony is made. So nobody can make harmony with only the white keys of the keyboard. But you only make harmony with the black and white keys of the keyboard. It's communication. When you're playing the keyboard, it's communication. And that is how it is. People who went to learn typing from the beginning, A, S, D, F, column, L, K, J, it is communication, and it has been transferred from the mind to the tip of the fingers. My friend, your communication content is what will build your relationship or kill your relationship. the where, the how, the when. Look, let me tell you one good thing. When you are doing distance relationship, when you are far, communication is different from when you are close. But some of you demand the same communication style when you are close. Why? Because when you are far, I communicate most with you because it's telephone. But when you are close, it is no more telephone. It changes the medium. But most of us, our demands are the same way of communication, even when we change our location. The when, the how, the where. And so when I was in Abrochi, every morning you wake up, you send me a message. I am sleeping with you. No more text. I want to ask you, how are you doing? There's nothing bad in typing. But what stopped me from having that link with you in the morning? How are you? How was your sleep? Why do you expect that it should be audio? It should be typed. The where, the how, the when is important. I just went to the hospital to visit my mom, who was not well. We all know. Kofi Guru, thank you for coming. Counselor, this is my topic. Please detail more. You just came. You are late. YouTube will detail more for you on my channel. Follow my page. When we come and continue tomorrow, you can have the rest of the content. Communication in marriage and relationship. The when, the how, the where is what we are talking about. The demand for a message while we lie down together is lovely. It's nice. But what if she goes to read the WhatsApp in the afternoon? The first thing we read right now is not our Bible, it's our phones, it's our WhatsApp, and determines our mood swings. Somebody has sent you a message that will begin to reflect in your mood, and everybody in the house must rally around your mood and fight with your mood and act according to your mood because you are moody by what you read in the morning. Gadgets, bad news affect the domestic communication. You wake up in the morning and you live in the environment where I live. You try to go into your car and your battery is stolen. Hey, marriage is something, I don't know what marriage is something. Women must learn, men must learn that there's a way love is expressed. The 5 love languages are expressed in different ways. The do unto others at times, I say when people are abused the more between men and women, men are more abused than women. You don't understand me in relationship. Kweku Blanks, Roxim, Kweku, you are late. You watch the rest on YouTube. Immediately when I finish in the next 30 minutes, it will be on YouTube for you to enjoy. Let's build a YouTube family. But thank you for being there. I respect the fact that you are there. Let's learn to communicate. So today, if you didn't learn anything at all, you have learned that when it comes to communication, the tone, the pitch, the 3 basic forms of communication, which is written, verbal, non-verbal. And I've discussed the verbal and I've discussed the non-verbal. I was on the written, and I say I want to end here for today. It's been yours truly, Counselor George Lutrot, who brought you these lectures today. Friends, loved ones, let's practice what we hear. And by so doing, our lives will never be the same again. 02776096444. This thing was made possible by the support of my ginger chips. call me right now for it. 0277 609 I love you all. But remember, this month of May is your month of divine breakthrough. You will break through. And once you break through, remember, I am here to enjoy your breakthrough with you. I'm out of here for now. I'm grateful. Very, very grateful. Follow me on my Facebook right now. Just go to the follow button so that you join me. Let's build a family. You can go to my Telegram and join the Telegram group, Counselor Luttrell Fan Club. The Telegram group is there. In the same way, go to my YouTube. Please, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't let's leave the YouTube for the others. Let it become our YouTube. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Please help me find the type of network I can use when I'm driving.